group. My goodness. Good evening, sisters, associates, and friends. We are here today, this evening, to celebrate the debut of a small but powerful tome. This project was started by the previous General Council. It is an attempt to capture many memories and stories that might otherwise be forgotten. The stories come from the hearts of many sisters who serve the people of God in our missions outside of the United States. These countries include Nicaragua, Honduras, Ecuador, and Russia. We are sure that as you read these stories, you will experience the joy or fear, hope or confusion, pain and love of these sisters. The book is entitled Called to Serve, Ministry Stories of the Sisters of St. Agnes in Latin America and Russia. I now invite Sister Jean Steffes to come up and give us a welcome.
Thanks, Sister Jo Marie. I appreciate that. Really, what you're going to witness tonight is a labor of love. And there are two things that really make up this book, and Jo Marie referred to both of them. One is story. And so often, when we try to convey something that means something to us, we try to do it through story. And story is a way of introducing ourselves that sometimes isn't so straight on or straightforward, but it gets us a way to get out some meaning and some truth by inviting us in. So you'll hear story. The second thing that she mentioned is mission. And we all know that for religious women, mission is really, when we're an apostolic religious community, mission is what it's all about. And so this book brings together those two elements of our life, our mission and our stories. And so, again, be prepared for a delightful read. And I'd like to, at this time, introduce those people who really put time, energy, and love into this project. And so as I call your name, if you're here, and some of them I know cannot be here, but as I call your name, please stand, and then all of you stay standing, and then we'll recognize everybody at the end. Sister Jean Perry, way over. Sister Margaret Lorimer is at Nazareth Court and Center, so she can't be here. Suzanne Flood did marvelous work. She is our executive assistant at the Mother House. Valerie Gracek. Alice Ann Pfeiffer, Sister Alice Ann. Sister Jeremy Quinn. Jeremy wasn't able to be here. Sister Katie Schilling. There she is, Katie, okay. Sister Jo Marie Zilke. Donna Vikulich, who did yeoman's work, she and her husband Claudio, translating. What you're receiving tonight will also be totally in Spanish for the sake of our Spanish, and then we're grateful for Rindle Printing and what they did. So let's thank these people who really... And now I'd like to turn back to Sister Jo Marie for the rest of the program.
I would like now to have three sisters come up to read their stories. So I invite Sister Guadalupe Aguilar, Sister Alice Ann Pfeiffer, and Sister Ann Jude Van Lannen. Please come forward.
el niño trabajador, el muchacho con las botas de hule. La primera vez que leí la historia y misión de las hermanas de Santa Inés, sabía que quería ser hermana. Pensaba que sería lo mejor que podría ofrecer al Señor. Soy maestra. Mi primer trabajo fue en Bluefield, Nicaragua, donde enseñaba la educación religiosa. Hubo un niño en particular, un niño muy inteligente, siempre muy educado, ansioso por aprender, quien hizo fielmente sus tareas escolares. Noté que andaba botas de hule, mientras los otros niños se vestían bien y llevaban zapatos de cuero. Nunca tenía comida, ni bebida, ni merienda, ni almuerzo. Un día no estaba en clase y pregunté a los otros niños, ¿por qué no estaba en clase? Me dijeron que era un niño trabajador de solo 8 a 9 años. Después de 2 semanas, el niño regresó para la celebración del Día Internacional del Niño y me dijo que no regresaría a la escuela porque no tenía hogar ni dinero para pagar la colegiatura. Le pregunté cómo le podría ayudar y me dijo, nadie me puede ayudar. Nunca voy a olvidar a este niño joven, quien tanto quería una educación que para él estaba fuera de su alcance.
I will now read Sister Guadalupe's story in English. Child Worker, the Boy with the Rubber Boots. The first time I read the history and mission of the Sisters of St. Agnes, I knew I wanted to become a sister. I thought it would be best I could offer to God. I am a teacher. My first teaching placement was in Bluefields, Nicaragua, where I taught religious education. There was a particular child, a very smart boy, always polite, eager to learn, who faithfully did his homework. I noticed he wore rubber boots, while the other children were well-dressed and wore leather shoes. He never had any snacks at recess, nor did he have any food at lunch. One day he was absent from school, and I asked the children why he wasn't in class. They told me he was a child worker, only 8 or 9 years old. After 2 weeks, the boy returned for the celebration of the International Children's Day and told me he would not be returning to school because he had no home and no money for school tuition. When I asked him how I could help him, he said, "No one can help me." I will never forget this young boy who so wanted an education which for him was out of reach. And I invite Sister Alice Ann to please read a story from Russia. This is called Blessed Irina. Irina had a name common among the Russian women I met during my 5 years in Chelyabinsk. Her story, however, was not common. One day a parishioner called and asked if I'd like to go along on a visit to Irina at her apartment. Irina was a prisoner inside her own twisted body. Her quick intelligence, however, always shone in her eyes, and her ready smile bore witness to an outgoing personality. This visit would provide my first chance to say more to Irina than hi and bye before and after Mass. That day, I mostly listened. Upon hearing the year of her birth, I realized that only 3 years separated us in age. In a parallel universe, what had happened to Irina easily could have been my fate. She was born in a nearby Bashkir village. The Bashkir people were the original inhabitants of Russia's southern Ural Mountains. They were Turkic Mongolian in race and Islamic in faith. Like everyone else in Irina's village, her mother had drunk water from the Tieka River while pregnant with Irina. Also, like everyone else, she did so without realizing the danger. Without warning the populace, the Soviet government had dumped nuclear waste into the Tieka while producing the country's first nuclear weapons. When Irina was born, the doctors saw that she would be crippled for life. They wanted to kill her at birth, but Mrs. Osipova insisted on taking her home. That decision required giving up her bookkeeping job to care for Irina full-time. In other families, both parents worked. Yet not once during her childhood did Irina's parents or older brothers ever make her feel like a financial burden. Yes, they had fewer physical comforts than other families, but they still had Irina. They had their little girl. Even as a middle-aged woman living independently in a city apartment, Irina still received regular visits from her brothers. They always made sure she had all she needed. Although victimized before birth by a careless government, Irina felt blessed to be born into such a caring family. The loving family spirit of our parish, she added, made her feel doubly blessed.
And then I'd like to invite Sister Anju to come forward and her story, You Came.
Man Balram, you came. It was late night in the village of Living Creek when a little girl came to awaken me asking that I come to see her father who was dying. As I followed her through the jungle night, I repeatedly said to myself, I don't have anything to give him. My supplies are all gone. I just don't have anything. On arrival, I found the little hut filled with family and townspeople gathered. His wife and little children were at his side. A burning wick in a small jar of crude oil provided the only lighting. Silence fell over the group as I approached his wife to express my concern for her and her husband. Explaining that I had nothing to give him, I asked if she wanted me to pray. Since she nodded yes, I knelt by his side and touched his forehead, only to discover that he was burning up with fever. He attempted to join in praying the Our Father when he suffered the spasms of a harsh cough. My heart sank as I knew this was another death from tuberculosis. With prayers completed, I leaned closer to him and said, I am so sorry. My medicines are all gone and I have nothing that I can give you. With that, he opened his eyes and with a radiant smile said, Trabalapo Madriki, Man Balram. Don't worry, sister, you came.
hope you enjoyed, if you can say, some of them were very sad, but wonderful stories that you're going to find in that book.